What's going on, people? It's Mr. Dog back again. I hope everyone's fit and well. And yes, more podcasts, more topics, but the main topic today, Nottingham Forest have signed Omar from Bayern Munich on a 5-year deal. Lots to talk about. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and comment below, people. How are you feeling about the new signing today? Right, I've got a panel, usual, new, old, and yeah, new panel. So first of all, next to me, I've got the why is he smiling? I don't know why he's smiling. Why are you smiling?
I must be the old bit.
You're the old panel. So, so next to me, everyone knows because Glenn's been on there before. Below Glenn, we've got Joe. How you doing, Joe?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
I'm not too bad. And next one, we've got, as you know, he's been on the show before. We've got Reading fan. I couldn't get a Bayern Munich fan because it was so much, but he knows about our new signing. Man himself, Jacob. How you doing, Jacob?
Hello, Ben. Thank you for having me back on. You're much the better team than Reading are at the moment, but I'm glad to provide a little bit of insight into who you've just snapped up. I'm very, very jealous. Very jealous.
You took a player. You have took one of our players, though, Jacob. Don't forget Tyrese Fauna.
That's true. Yeah, thank you for that. You've done us a massive favour. He is currently only our second midfielder in the whole squad at the moment. So cheers. Otherwise, we were going to have to play one of our goalkeepers in midfield because we've got that six of them.
Unbelievable. People in the comments, man, show some love to Glenn, Joe, and Jacob, please. And I said, people as well, our new signing as well as Omar from Bayern Munich. I'm going to look through the tweet today that Forest have announced today. Here's Omar new Nottingham Forest signing through Twitter today. People like to give comments. How are you feeling about our new signing today? Well, yeah, that's a new signing. So people comments, how are you feeling about our new player? I'm going to start with Glenn. Glenn, Omar from Bayern Munich. How are you feeling about the Bayern?
Yeah, delighted. That sounds like it's good for both clubs, bearing in mind the free deal that they got from Reading a year ago. Is that right, Jacob? Only a year ago. He certainly seems to be what we're missing in terms of a Colback low sort of replacement in that left back position. I'd be interested to find out from Jacob whether he is a left back, a left winger, or a wing back. Or from what I've seen, I'm not sure whether it's the stuff that YouTubers tend to put out on video, whether it's just the things that he does in terms of attacking. He certainly seems to be a sort of a decent defender, but I'm not sure how much of his strengths is in defence. Actually, it may well be a growing area for him. But no, delighted that we've brought him in at this stage. Certainly is something we needed to do, and I'm sure Jacob will fill us in a little bit more about the player. But yeah, any position in that, I think it now, certainly what I'm seeing, it certainly seems to be that we've now got a perhaps another keeper to come in, but certainly our back six, if you like, certainly seems to be really strong now. And we're looking for players further up the field.
Joe, how are you feeling about the new left back? As Glenn touched on it, like I said, that left back, it's been a nightmare for us for a long time. Like I said, we had Low on loan from Sheffield United, but at last we've got a permanent signing. At last, a good player as well, but I can take him to explain to us later on about that. But Joe, how are you feeling about this new signing?
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think probably one of the happiest people that you'll see about that probably is going to be Jack Colback, knowing that he's not going to have to fill in that position next season in the Premier League. So I'm really happy with that. And like Glenn said, I'm happy that we've pretty much filled out our back six now. Hopefully we'll get some more news on the right back slot in the coming days. But I think now we've built up a solid defence to try and keep us in games, and then we can start focusing more on the midfield and the attack to then start getting us in position to start winning them. So overall, very happy.
Right, Jacob, I think you better get rid of because people in the comments, if anyone want to ask any question to Jacob about our new sign, like he knows he's a Reading fan, he knows lots about him. So people in the comments, okay, answer away. And as well, if you're doing the super chats as well, make sure you answer questions so Jacob could answer them. Right, Jacob, what kind of player are we getting?
Well, Glenn kind of touched on it because I know, YouTube highlight reels can always tell kind of their own story. But when he came through our academy, so first of all, we poached him from Fulham when he was 16. So he was coming through their system before he linked up with us. And before he moved to the left back spot, he was always a midfielder or like a left winger. Reading have had players like that in the past, like Jordan Obita, that start further up the pitch and then end up filling in at left back and end up doing a good job there. But he got given his debut actually under Jaap Stam. Stam absolutely loved him, and that was around the sort of it was the season after we'd got to the playoff final and lost to Huddersfield, but we don't talk about that. But no, that pre-season tour we went on to the Netherlands, Richard started every single game over there. And that was at a time when we had quite a few left backs in the squad. So you guys know about one of them because at the time he was competing for left back alongside Tyler Blackett.
Yeah.
And at one point, so we had three left backs. We had Jordan Obita, Tyler Blackett, and Omar Richards. And Richards, played a little bit for us and looked, by all accounts, like fine up until he got injured. And then all of a sudden, one summer, we lost. Blackett went to you guys, and Obita ended up getting released and ended up going to Wickham as well. So all of a sudden, he was the only left back in the whole squad. And we were thinking, oh God, like we hope he kind of steps up here, because up until then he'd been fine. He hadn't really pulled up any trees. He was all right. He scored like 4 games into his Reading career, like quite a tidy little finish. I can't remember who it was against, but like he was steady. I think the Tilehurst End, the Reading blog, put up a poll on Twitter asking fans around that sort of time, oh, where do you reckon he's going to be playing in like 2 or 3 years? And everyone said the Championship. and then like 2 years later, he's playing for Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. So he really came alive in the season that we finished 7th. He was brilliant, like, because for a while before that season, he looked a little defensively suspect. But that season, he just became a different beast. He had one of the highest tackle percentages in England. I think it was only behind Wan-Bissaka as far as like tackle success goes. He was really good one-on-one, really getting involved with the attacking play too, playing further up, almost like a wing back. And we were absolutely gutted when he left, because the next season we went from finishing 7th the season before to, I think it was 20th the next year. And we looked like a totally different defence, even with just him missing, because the rest of the defence was the same. But once Richards went, our defence really went downhill. And it was especially gutting that he went for nothing as well, because I think you've got a real, even though you paid 10 million for him, that's what we wanted at the time from Bayern, but they ended up getting him on a free. So I think 10 million pounds for a player who's still got plenty of time to develop and is young and hungry and a good character. I think you've done well, lads. I'm very jealous.
I think I saw on Twitter today, he scored his first goal against Nottingham Forest, didn't he?
Yeah. How could I forget? It's good.
I'm sorry. If Glenn and Jim want to ask a question to Jacob, please do. What qualities has he got going forward? Like I said, Glenn touched on it. What is he a left back? Is he a left wing? What
he's quick, and he's quite technical with his feet, which surprised us, because like Reading don't usually have left backs like that. But his crossing's all right. I haven't really seen much of him whilst he's been away in Munich. I know that the coaching setup over there is great, so if anything, he will have improved past, where we were coaching him. But let's not forget that whilst he was in Bayern, he was competing with Alphonso Davies for the left back spot.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the best left backs in Europe. I know he has his injury problems, but I think Richards, they clearly trusted in him as well in Munich to have given him the number 3 shirt. That's not something they do, sort of on a casual basis. So I don't know. He's useful in the attacking third because he's fine technically with his feet and his passing. He basically plays like an auxiliary winger, but he's also not too shabby in defence. He's good at tracking back. So happy days really. He's a bit of an all rounder, and I don't know if he gets minutes for you guys, I'm sure he'll be fine. I mean, we thought he would be value for a Premier League move even before he went to Germany. So, yeah.
Jacob, which area do you think? Because I know from being I work in London, so I know the kind of the Fulham area where he's been come from, and he's actually grew up in Lewisham where I teach. So I know that he was released from from Fulham at 16. I think he then went to another sort of a middle ground academy club that then played to bring all lads in that were released, and eventually then got him into your place, I think within about 6 months. So between the age of 17 then and 23 when he was released from when he went to Bayern, what over those 6 years, I know he scored a few goals, one against us. What area do you think he made the most progress in? You may have touched upon it already in terms of him becoming a defensive player from a midfielder. What do you think he made the most progress in?
Probably his defending, because I think there were times because he played under so many different managers, but that's mainly because Reading loved sacking a manager. So I mean, he played under, he played under Stam, he played under Jose Gomez, he played under Mark Bowen, he played under Veljko Paunovic, and with each subsequent change of the guard, if you like, he became he went from being someone where we thought, oh, he probably looks like the shakiest member of that defence because he was young and raw and had the winger background, to all of a sudden being one of the better one-on-one defenders in the entire unit. So I think positionally he became better over time, and I think he just became more confident over time too, because like I said earlier, we were worried how he would play when he was the only player in his position, and whether the lack of competition would hinder him, but it didn't, and he knew that the starting spot was his, and he just got this real confidence from it. So yeah, defensively, by the time he left, we weren't worried anymore, and we knew that he was one of the best assets we kind of had. It's strange to think that looking back now, he's probably one of the best defenders that the Reading Academy's ever produced, which is completely weird to say. And like you say, I know he had his background before coming to us, and I guess came to our academy relatively late. But yeah, no, defensively, I know the Premier League's a step up, but I wouldn't be worried if I were you. He is, a left back in the traditional sense now. So
that's great to hear. We always say as Forest fans that if you've got a player that's played for several managers, it's usually a good sign that they're still Ryan Yates-esque, they still get stuck in and they still get selected by all these managers. That's really encouraging to see. I mean, defensively, I've seen from the videos that I've been watching over the last couple of days that he certainly seems to be, it may well have been the cut of it. He seems to be a defender that's not bothered about getting his body on it and get stuck in. But equally, he's adept at getting that little toe in and just releasing the ball from the opponent and using his pace to get possession back, which is always a good sign too. I'm glad that you're saying that. On the point you said about confidence, certainly what I was seeing and hearing about an interview that he was doing just after he signed for Bayern, it was obvious that he was really disappointed when he obviously left Fulham, and really getting that kind of step up into Reading and then building the confidence and obviously supporting his family while he was playing along the way as well. But that confidence seems to be a big thing for him. How do you think, you touched upon it a little bit, how do you think he would move into Premier League football from what he might have been playing at Bayern?
I think he'll embrace it. I think it would be a different proposition maybe if he was going directly from Reading to another Premier League English club like you guys now. But the fact that he's it goes back to kind of the confidence and the fact that he's got a good head on his shoulders. For him at such a young age to move abroad, and I know that more and more English players are going over to the Bundesliga young, and the English lower league seems to be a league that they're targeting. But he really took it in his stride, and Reading fans were egging him on, seeing that he was winning trophies with Bayern and whatnot. But that experience now, coming back to England, I'm sure he will have matured and he'll be up for the challenge. But also, he's back in a more familiar environment too. So I think he'll just embrace it and get stuck in for you guys. And also knowing that you've got a class manager who presumably is he can learn a load from Cooper, and so I wouldn't have anything to worry about. I know as well that I know that Jed Spence, who had such a brilliant season with you guys last year, I know they're not identical players, but he should go some way to addressing the loss of Spence, I imagine, for you guys.
There's 176 people in. Thank everyone that's taken part to watch this vlog. As you know, Forest have signed a family left back today. People in the comments, if anyone wants to ask Jake any questions about this left back, please do. I've got a super chat, but I'll read that later on. Joe, any questions for Jacob?
Yeah, so just one about his kind of positioning and how he kind of sits in that left back role. Would you say he's more of a traditional left back in terms of playing more defensively in a back four, or did he get much more use kind of playing in a more of a wing back role in a back five with 3 centre backs and pushing further up the pitch?
So the only time he played as like a wing back in a back like 3 or 5 for us was under Mark Bowen. And he benefited from that actually, because that was around the sort of time that he started getting further up the pitch anyway. And it kind of gave him a bit of a new lease of life. But other than that, under every single other manager, he played in a flat back four. But saying that, he was, even in that back four, he would get up the pitch.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He seems versatile. And I know at Bayern as well, he was playing in a flat back four more often than not.
Yeah.
I've just seen a comment as well in the sidebar about how, and I've seen this as well, a load of the Bayern fans seem to be a bit gutted
I've
to
seen
let him
it.
go.
Yeah, I've seen it from
which is usually a good sign, right? Because I know he started a few cup games for him, and got the occasional run out. I know, like, not necessarily the minutes he would have wanted, but obviously a lot of competition. But for Bayern to have kind of taken a look at how he operated for us in that back four and thinking that he could work in their system, I think he's a versatile enough defender, Joe.
Yeah.
So,
I think from what I've seen, definitely from the stats as well, he definitely looks like he's going to be solid playing as that more of a defensive role as part of the back five. I think it's then just whether we want to go down more the route of using Biancone on the right. Is that then going to be a bit too flat as the 5, as opposed to what we had last year with Jed bombing up the pitch and then kind of having the left back role more sitting back? I mean, if we do end up making some of the signings that we've been leaked with in terms of this other right back that we might be getting, then that will definitely benefit us. But I think if he is also adept to be able to get up and down the pitch, so then we can not just attacking up the right, if we can then use the left a bit more, I think that would be beneficial.
100%.
There's 190 people. Like I said, if you have any questions for Jacob, please do. I can hit the like button as well, people. If you can, it helps my channel a lot, and subscribe as well. Jacob, what's with, like, everyone has their downfalls? What's the weaknesses that Omar Richardson has?
So even though I've said he's mobile, he's quick and whatever, there are a couple of times when I'll be watching him at the Medeski or the bloody select car leasing stadium, as it's known, still not used to, where you could tell, because he would be so far up the pitch, he would really have to like work to get back, like if they were broken.
That's Spence.
Yeah. I mean, and to be honest, like, you can understand it, because I know that's a bit of a common thing with, like, especially if you're like a young wing back, you can get, I don't know, a little carried away or whatnot. But other than that, I mean, I know he's still like a little raw. He's not the finished product, but he's a good age. I don't know. I think he just needs a run of games, because he's looked best for us when he's just been in the side consistently. Like when I was telling you how he was competing for the spot with Blackett and Mbita and whatnot. When he was sort of in and out of the team, he always like looked like he was second guessing himself a little. So I know that's not necessarily like a technique thing or a quality thing. That's just like how he is. He's maybe a bit of a confidence player. So, but he's a good character. I mean, I know he's really popular in the squad. He still hangs out like around London with the likes of Michael Elise, who's another one we let go for way too cheap. And by all accounts, I think he's just like a good lad. So yeah, honestly, I'd feel really good if I were you. I know I'm biased and I'm thinking of times gone by, but like, we would love to have him back, obviously, but he's way too good for us. So,
Glenn, any questions?
I think a lot of what I was hoping, and I didn't really need a lot of reassurance, has been covered really. What do you think? I've got 2 possible questions. I'm not sure which one. Come back to me in a minute.
Okay.
I'll quickly jump in then and fire one.
Go on, Joe. Jump in.
It'd be good if he has a good run of games. Would you say he was more of a starting fullback for you, or was he part of a rotation? Because I think that might have been what the plan was with Bayern, but then they've obviously seen how Alfonso's career's like blown up, and he's become probably one of the best full-backs on the left side. So was he a out-and-out starter for you guys, or was he part of a rotation?
For us in his last season, definitely he was one of the first names on the team sheet. We didn't in the season under Paunovic when we came 7th, it was him who was like the out and out starter, and we had a couple of academy lads who just weren't up to the same level. This lad called Ethan Bristow, who at the time was like 16 or 17 and was just like way too young, and we've released him this year and he just wasn't really up to the level, so he was an out and out starter for us. I've just seen a comment as well saying, what was this injury record like? There was one big injury he had where he was out for 5 months, but that was early on. That was maybe within like a year of him breaking through. And then since then, from memory, I think he wasn't. Reading have had a ton of injury problems through the squad for like years, but he was one of the like lesser offenders. He was, relatively all right. I guess some of that comes with youth, but yeah, in answer to your question, Joe, he was a definite starter for us, definitely. Yeah.
Before I get Glenn, there's one question for you from Forest, and a question for Jacob. Do you think Steve Cooper could be the right manager to help him develop in potential? As we know, Cooper develops all good youngster players. Like I said, we've got Spence, Garner, a lot. So, what question is like, is Cooper the man to make him develop even better? I know he's at Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich's a top club, but he's in the Premier League, tough league. But do you think Cooper's the man to develop it even better?
100%, because I know Cooper's got the pedigree with working with youth, when he was at England, and, the excellent job he did with Swansea. And with you guys, Richards on paper fits the profile of the sort of player that you've already had like in your squad over time, really, in terms of like the youth prospects. So, yeah, I think I would be very, very surprised if Cooper doesn't get a tune out of him. And you'll be having me on like this time in a year when you finish 20th saying, Jacob, what went wrong? Why did you sell us a Dolphin? but no, I hope I haven't put the kiss of death on him. But I think Cooper definitely, I'm sure that's one of the reasons why Richards will have said yes to the move, because I know you don't leave Munich lightly, but knowing that he probably gets to work under a manager with such good pedigree just makes sense, I think. Yeah.
Glenn, have you got your questions in, Glenn?
I have. I've got 2. I'll do one first. Following weirdly on what you were just saying about Cooper, really, I know they've been doing a lot of character assessments of players before or during the process of signing them. What are his sort of on or off field characteristics of character virtues?
I wouldn't say he's quiet, but he's not overstated. Like he kind of, as far as like his social media presence and whatever, he very much sort of like head screwed on, kept his head down, and just, I mean, I think he had like an Instagram page where like, post him in like, you can't really make character judgments off someone's social media profile, otherwise people would be making judgments about mine all the time. So, but no, we never, like, there was never any stories about like there being any problems with him or anything. And Paunovic, the manager who probably played the best and absolutely loved him, like almost like a father-son thing. So yeah, just a good egg, I think. And I know that's an important thing, like with recruitment nowadays, is getting in the right characters and them not being disruptive. But I don't think he's a disruptive influence at all. He's not into his bling or anything. So
that's good, then. I think that's the best news ever.
It is. We've certainly got a history of turning around people that might not necessarily be that as well, and shaping them into players that are now worth tens of millions as well, which is great. On that note, actually, disciplinary wise, when I first started watching a couple of videos this morning, like I was saying, he was going into the odd tackle, and I was thinking he's going to be the first player to get sent off this year. What was he like for you?
I'll tell you what, I'm going to quickly Google it. I know that like there would be the odd like cynical yellow. It was kind of what I was saying to you earlier as well, when like if there were times when he'd have to like track back, like he's not afraid of like a cynical yellow. I know that, but I'm trying to think, were there any like inconspicuous red cards he got for us like back in time? I'm just having a little look. The honest answer is I can't remember. but like I never thought to myself, oh, Richards is a walking red card.
Right.
I can see, I'm looking down his stats actually for last season with Bayern, and he got booked one time in the time he's played for him, and actually, weirdly enough, his final appearance he got booked, but he only played 9 minutes as well. So yeah, I don't know. Like he can crunch someone, but like players, any defender can do that. So
Good.
I don't know.
He's like.
There's 196 people in. Thank you everyone for taking the time and watching this. If you please do hit the like button, please, if you can. Subscribe if you're new, and comment below if you don't. We've got 26 minutes. If you've got any questions for Jacob, if you can, please do. Jacob, like I said, good player. Like I said, only 24 years old, and with Reading, like I said, is he, like I said, what's his relationship with fans? Does he interact with fans, or like I said, is he a quiet person?
He didn't, as far as I can remember, he wasn't one of the main like people in the squad who would like engage the fans. But to be honest, that was kind of a problem we've had with the squad for a while now. There's a bit of disconnect in that. I mean, there are players who would do like more talking on social media, the likes of, before he left this season, like Josh Laurent was very popular with the fans and would be quite vocal. Andy Yeardham's just been given the club captaincy and he's always been one of the more vocal ones. But I wouldn't say Richards is the same as that. We're all gutted when he left. He left a very short. It's funny. There was a tweet going around on Reading Twitter today about his like leaving message for the Reading fans was say like maybe that long, and the leaving message for the Bayern Munich fans was like that, like double the length. But like you can't read too much into that. He might have just got better PR people over in Germany, and I don't know. But yeah, like I was saying to Glenn, just kind of kept his head down, just got on with it, and and you don't necessarily mind that. Easy Sense, I think, is just asked, do Reading receive a sell-on percentage, which was actually something I was going to mention before I forgot. And yeah, the answer is yes. So I don't think it's loads, but I think as like some sort of compensation thing, because we went on a free to Germany, I think we get 300k, which to us at this, for us at this point in time, that's actually like useful. We could do with that.
You lot were in trouble last. You lot were in trouble last year, weren't you?
Yeah, like this season, I won't get into it. But
I don't want to mention. Sorry, I don't want to mention that result that we gave you a high, didn't we?
Don't, please. I'm still in therapy. But you're nothing special because everyone beat us last season. Yeah, no, we can't spend any money this season because we're still like for about the 30th year in a row under some embargo. But like it will go some way to balancing the finances. Yeah. So thanks, lads. We appreciate it.
But I want to ask a question as well. That question from eSense. How are you doing, eSense? As you know, Fauna has joined Reading, and he's a player that he's got high hopes for us. And how excited are you? Like he's coming to Reading, because I know that you lot have been in big trouble. Like I said, personally, I think you got the wrong manager.
Me too.
But what do you think, Fauna? Do you think he can do well for your club?
Yeah, I mean, we needed midfielders, and I think I mentioned it earlier. Like hilariously, he up until he signed, we had one senior midfielder at the club, and he's like 21. Dejan Teta, because we've lost Andy Rinham-Hotter to Cardiff, we've lost Josh Laurent on a free to Stoke, and John Swift's the big one. John Swift's gone to West Brom. So our midfield's been decimated. But what we like about Fauna is that he seems like there was this viral quote of his going around saying like how he's not there to make friends and he's there to like take people's shirts off him. But it like meant in like a competitive way, in that he wants to like fight for the shirt and whatnot. But it's interesting in a way because he came through our youth system. Or like he did. Yeah, he was very briefly at Reading. So he was saying in his welcome interview how a couple of players who were still at the club, Tom Holmes and Tom McIntyre, he was playing with in the youth ranks before he got released the first time around. So he knows the area. He knows a couple of our players. Seems like a good character. And also we just need midfielders. And it makes sense for both parties because you guys want him to get games. He's definitely going to get games with us, 100%. Yeah. And we could just do with him at the moment because he seems like a fairly like tidy player. So yeah, thanks. We appreciate
it. Right, there's 50 minutes. There's one more question. Any more questions for Jacob, Glenn, or Joe?
How do you think Reading's going to? Just a general Reading question, really. How do you think you're going to get on this year?
Oh, mate, it's going to be a long.
I don't rate Paul Ince. I'm not going to lie.
No, we weren't necessarily surprised to see Ince get given the job, because it always had the feeling of, as soon as he was appointed as caretaker and kept us up, we were like, the club's going to go the cheap option here and keep him around. But it's going to be tough because, frankly, we don't have the bodies. We got so few players. Ince still says he wants to make like 6 or 7 more signings, but we just don't know whether they're going to get him in or not.
You can take Harry Hart if you want on a free transfer.
Well, if you want to send me a text after this, Ben, I'll
let me take Forest now. I'll text him now.
Yeah, thank you. I'll try and set that up. But it's honestly the nice thing in a way is that the majority of fans are under no illusions that it's going to be a hellish year, and we just need to stay up. So if we come 21st, it will probably be seen as a success.
Do you think you'll survive?
Do we think Reading or Forest?
Reading.
That question's about Forest, I think, isn't it? We'll take 17.
I can answer. I can answer both. If you guys take 17, you'll probably be pleased, and if we get 21st, I'll be delighted. I think it's going to be touch and go, but we just basically need to do what Derby did last year and just try and get this siege mentality in place, and like us against the world, and we'll see what happens. But I wish you guys well, because I think it's been so long since you're in the top flight. I think the majority of neutrals are hoping you have a fair crack at it. So I'm not going to lie, because now in Premier League, I'm so happy we're not going to Reading, because we never win away at Reading, because there was always one of the clubs, like I said, we draw one at the club at Reading, and it's always, I think we beat when we beat 3-0. Who was it under? 3-0 under. Who was it? Can you remember Glenn or Joe? Yeah, I'm trying to remember the manager.
But when Ben Osborne scored that goal, Ben Osborne, Fright, and someone else. But after that, sorry, Jacob, I'm not going to lie. I'm happy I'm not going to Reading again for four more season.
I remember there was that my memory of you lot coming to our place was that time when you thought you nicked a last minute winner off us recently.
Oh, don't!
Sorry to bring it up, but I know the
dude, you had to.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Dude, that was dude. People if no one saw that vlog, people go and watch it. It was horrible. It was yeah.
Nightmare.
That was a nightmare. But Jacob, it's been a pleasure, Jacob. Thank you very much for
thank you for letting me back on. It's been good.
Hopefully, I won't see you for quite a while.
You never know. I mean, we might be in League One. You might not see us for a while. So
you might get promoted. You never know. Paul Ince might do something special.
Oh, that'll be up there with like Leicester winning the Premier League if we get.
People are coming back. Please give Jacob some love for Black Dick. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for it. And make sure one more thing. Look after Tyrese Fauna for us.
Oh, we will. Yeah, we'll wrap him in bubble wrap. Don't worry.
Right, Jacob. Peace, love. Thank you, Jacob.
See you later.
Jacob.
Take care, man.
Legend, actually legend. As you know, people, we've signed him on, which is from Bayern Munich, and Jacob has given some more information about him. So, but yeah, people, how you feeling about a new signing? Fantastic left back. But yeah, we've got another half an hour, and we could talk about loads of stuff. And I forgot to talk about the man himself, Des de Oldham. He did a vlog for me. He went to Spain. Thank you, Des, for doing this. It's a great vlog. Pain in the arse to edit though, because all his videos were left, right, centre. But people make sure after the stream go and check Des. Like I said, it was his first time he's done a match day vlog, and like I said, got to give credit to Des. Like I said, he's done one for his channel as well, the extra version. So if you do want to watch my version or Des's version, please go and watch them both. People, there's 298 people. Please do hit the like button. I'm on 70 likes. Get me to 100 likes before we do. I'm asking you, Glenn. Like I said, Forest lost 3-1, but did you watch the game, Glenn?
I haven't watched the game in its entirety. No, I was like I said, I was late back on Friday night. But I've watched enough of it to see that the first half seemed to be a little bit more straightforward and a lot perhaps like, they made some changes in the second half and it wasn't quite the same. I was speaking to a mate of mine on Saturday morning, actually, while I was out in the park with disappointing that we lost, not overly surprised that Coventry really put up a fight against us and great to see Tyler score. But equally, it was a little early, wasn't it, for a couple of the players that they were still trying out, and it's quite important, that quite key that Cooper was saying in the post match that there's a number of players there that were playing perhaps for the last time for Forest, whether they were out on loan or whether they were being sold. So it may well be a very different situation this week when they play at Burton, right?
Yeah, Burton on Tuesday. I am going to that game, people.
Interesting to see how they change the starting 11 and how the 11 changes over the course of the game, and how we get on there. But I think that might be. I've got a moth flying around in there. Sorry, that might well be the last time that we see a couple of those players. Perhaps we'll talk about who we think might be going out in the next.
Yes, that's the thing. I want to ask people in the comments, man. Before I do it, I've got a super chat. Sorry, and I saw these. I did see your super chat. I just want to. This coach was talking about the player Omar Williams. Hi Ben. How about members meeting up before the Forest Knox game? We are Premier League, baby. I know you love me saying that, but just message me. That's what you're doing. People are going to any games. I am going to Burton on Tuesday. I'm going to Barnsley on Saturday. I'm going to Hertha Berlin next Tuesday. But the main one as well, I'm going to Yodu Berlin as well, people. I'm excited. I can't wait to go to Wales. So if you do want to see all them vlogs, please do hit the like button as well. Subscribe, man. Make sure you do subscribe, people. Like I said, I'm trying to get to 10K before the season finishes, people. So if any of the 186 people has not subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button as well. If you want to be a member as well, like Glenn and Joe, this is why I got people like Joe on. He's a member to the channel, and I'm trying to get all the members as well before the season finishes. Get all the members on who hasn't been on the channel. Come on, right. Glenn touched on it, and like I said, there's so many players like Joe, and people get involved as well. Quite a lot of players, like I said, and Cooper said, players believe in blah blah blah. And I'll ask Glenn afterwards. But Joe, what players would you like to leave Forest? Because we're in the Premier League now, so players got to go. So who would you like to leave?
Well, I think as we touched on earlier about Fauna going to Reading, I think that was one of the key ones that we had to really get out and make sure that he was getting game time elsewhere. I think you could pretty much nail on about 6 or 7 of the players that played in the second half of the Coventry game, because it was literally a game of 2 halves where he was just given like the youth and reserves a run out in the second half, just getting them match fit and just giving them a nice run around in a game position. So you could probably get rid of a decent chunk of those players that were playing in that half there, and just get them into more clubs like Reading playing in the Championship, and just get them match fit, just like it was against Coventry.
I think I'll say my bit, but Glenn, what players? Like I said, I know Glenn's a massive fan, and he's actually teached Lyle Taylor. We know that Lyle Taylor didn't get much chance on the second half of the season, but Glenn, do you think time's up with Lyle Taylor, or do you think he should give him another chance?
At Forest, I'd love for him to stay at Forest. Like you were saying, I really do hope that this year is a really good year for Lyle and Forest in terms of it's the last year of his contract, isn't it? So I do hope that that's something that hope and realism though is very different, isn't it? I do think that there may well be a option for him to go somewhere else, whether it's permanently or on loan. I think the loan option is more likely while he's still on contract with us. Where I don't know. Birmingham had an option earlier on, didn't they? But
I don't think he's going to Birmingham. Listen, I don't think anyone's touching Birmingham after what we've seen. But
So where he goes, I know he still lives in Nottingham. I'm not sure where he would. Bloody things still flying around. I'm not sure where he will end up, but I know he will come with an enormous amount of experience, and he'll do a real good job. Obviously, as we go forward towards the end of the transfer window, we may well see where he goes. To answer your question, no, I unfortunately I don't think he'll feature too much in Cooper's plans this year. As with Mighton, and obviously been reading a few things about Mighton recently. Yeah, I feel for him, but whether he's been given the opportunities to make that progress or make that steps up. Obviously, he scored against Swansea, didn't he? And I thought that might be a real kick on for him.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
In that home win. It doesn't seem to have featured much beyond there, and I think he's the obvious loanee. I really do hope we keep hold of him. I'm not sure whether it's going to be a Championship or a League One option, but I can see a Meitner, a Lincoln. Actually, I can see that sort of relatively close.
That Brennan Johnson, just like Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, absolutely. Relatively close to home, relatively high level, but obviously not Championship or Premier League. And I would see him making real good strides, whether he's there for a year or not, more or not. That will certainly give him an opportunity to have some game time, and hopefully will come back into a Championship or a Premier League Forest and be a better player for it.
100%. Before Joe, I got a new member to Kane Murray. Thank you for being a member to the channel. Kane, can you email me, or if you're on Instagram or Twitter, so I can say thank you very much for being a member. So Kane, thank you for being a member. And actually, if you want to be a member, please, it's £2.99 a month. It supports the channel, because I know, as if you don't know, we're in the Premier League, so I'm going to get to all the games as much as possible. Like I said, I'm going to all the friendly games. I'm going to all the away games, home games. If you want to see any more content as well, please do hit the subscribe button. Like I said, people, I'm trying to get to 10k for the end of the year. Joe, like I said, we mentioned Taylor. Any players that you don't think? I know I seen that. What's his name? What's the left back? The Cyprus left back. Ioli. Is it Ioli? I can't pronounce his name now. Nicholas Aloni.
Leone, or isn't it? Yeah.
Leone. He got a chance. I think he played all right the first half, but players like got him. You had who else played? Who's like a DeCosta as well. He played. I think he'll be gone. Like Taylor as well. I feel for Taylor, but I just don't think he won't get game time. What players do you think, Joe, that it's not good enough for Forest? Simple as that. Let's get to the point.
I mean, probably Jordan Smith. I think if we do end up getting in like a Hennessy, like we're rumoured to as a backup, I think that's someone that we could probably be away with. And then, yeah, I agree, Lyle Taylor. It looks like Graben's not going to be sticking around, so I think Mighton is probably someone that we might have to try and keep around. So yeah, I think probably go around that. I'd said.
People, there's 177 people. Please do hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. And you've got any questions? I've gone at any Forest questions. Like I said, I've not been here for 4 days, and I feel like I said I've got so much to talk about. Glenn, we know it's soon going to be announced. Nico Williams from Liverpool. He had a spell with Fulham as well. I said that tomorrow, people, that I'm doing a show tomorrow as well. If it's announced tomorrow, I am doing a show. So, Glenn, like I said, we know your guy Spence is soon to go to Spurs. But Nico Williams, and let me get straight to you, Glenn. Do you think he's better than Spence? I know your answer.
Actually, if you look back through the comments, there has been a rumour about Spence and Tottenham.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
It's about, though. But to answer your question,
I've seen it. Don't tell you. Right. So this is what's Twitter. I call it Twitter. He's going back. I personally think he'll go to Spurs, but Spurs are playing buggers to get the bid as low as they can. So I think he'll go Spurs, but not.
They're just stalling.
Yes, because we know that what I see with clubs. I said I forgot to mention with Omar Richardson. I think if we do sell him, Bayern Munich get 50%. I think, and Spurs are stalling. And Spence is a great player. I wish we had him, but we've got to move forward now. Like I said, we are going to announce Nico Williams coming to Forest. But then answer the question: who would you prefer? People in the comments as well. Get involved. I don't want Glenn or Joe to say. Come on, get involved.
You've added another element to this question now, Dor. Because who would you prefer?
Get involved. Who would you prefer? Jed Spence or Nico Williams? Get involved. Let's have fun. Go on, Glenn.
I would prefer a 24-year-old English international, Jed Spence, but he's not that yet. He's a 21-year-old under 21 international that scored an own goal last time he played. So Nico Williams seems to be the best option we've got at that position. Is he better? I don't think so. Is he more experienced, having played in the Premier League? Is he international that we would really benefit from having behind his right wing mate in terms of Jono, and potentially in front of his keeper mate Hennessy? Yeah, he's a perfect fit for us, isn't he? He would be an absolutely brilliant option we've got on that right wing back role. Delighted to hear that he's been nearly having, soon to be released, whatever, soon to be announced, whatever. Delighted that he's putting Forest in his sphere in terms of options that he has from finishing at Fulham. I don't think going back to Liverpool was necessarily a long-term thing for him. And for him thinking this year anyway, short-term, getting a role in a team which is going to give him regular football, giving him regular football before the World Cup is obviously really important to him. And where better than playing at Forest right now in terms of where he's going to play with Jono, that relationship that he's going to develop with him. So, yeah, I think it fits all parties. Liverpool's going to get a decent sum out of it. Forest is going to get a really fantastic young Welsh international player, right wing back. And Jono's going to get a great mate to no doubt pour water over their head of in opening photographs. And, yeah, they're delighted news.
I don't think Glenn answered the question. Did you answer the question, Glenn?
I did. No, he's not better.
Joe, did he? Well, listen to it. Glenn was trying to be like a parliament before. He's like a journo. Answer the question, and but it's cool. People comment before I get comments. Joe, who do you prefer, Spence or Nico Williams?
My head would say Nico, but I think everybody here would say, probably their heart would tell them they'd want Spence back. Everybody in their true heart of hearts would want Spence back, even if it's just to have.
I want his mum back. Forget Spence. Bring his mum back.
But yeah, I think I have to agree pretty much with what Glenn said there, where you are getting almost a like for like, but I think the age and experience that you get with Nico Williams, as well as already having that international kind of friendship and development through with Brennan down that side of the pitch. I think we'd all love to have Spence back, but I don't think anyone's going to be upset with getting Nico Williams instead. And I think a lot of people will say that we have got probably a better player at the moment, especially going into our first season up in the Premier League, where we're going to be needing everyone that we can to be performing to the top of their ability to keep us up. I think is definitely the better player to have right at this current moment.
100%. Well, I'm going to go through the comments, and people are halfway up the 50-50 about it. Like some
you
people
don't want
saying,
to stop sitting on the fence then, Dor?
Nah, no, listen to me. Glenn trying to be like a journal. He's trying
Listen,
to the question.
This is what I said. I said, all right, I'll justify it. Defensively, Nico's better. Going forward, comparable, but I'd still have Spence because I want Jed Spence in a Forest shirt again, working with him and all that. I want to continue with that relationship. You know, seeing his mum at the back of the Fulham stand, oh, Mr. Hancock's here to his dad, highlight my year. I know it's not going to happen again. I am delighted that we've got Nico Williams, and right now he's probably, like I said, the better player. I think we should have him. But I still want Jed in the team.
So Chapo says both. Scooter says Spence. We have it here says Williams. Kev says Nico. Johnny says Nico all day. Adam says Williams all day. Bloody hell, it's a bit. It's 50-50. Martin says Williams. Local shopkeeper says Spence. Stretch Armstrong says both as well. And me personally, right? I'm gonna be like Glenn. Going forward, Spence. defense is like Spence. Let's get real. Spence was still good defensively. I think he was still good defensively. You can't keep it like he was. But
Worrell
me
had to step in
personally,
too many times for me back there. Really, Worrell was still covering a lot more than I would like him
100%.
to be when Jed was going up. So I don't think Nico would necessarily. I'm sure he will, but I don't think he'll necessarily need that reassuring person behind. The experience that Nico will bring will hopefully mean that Worrell can move over a little bit more and cover. Again, our man Omar will probably, as we were saying, give another option on the left, and we may not be that one-sided, very obvious, perhaps team that we became towards the end of the season with Omar in the team now.
100%. People saying Spence, people saying Nico. Like I said, me personally, like what Spence did for us, like I said, it was unbelievable what he did. And like I said, great player. But as well, Nico Williams, I'm not saying we're good for both, but because we're spending big, it's unbelievable. Like if we get Nico Williams tomorrow, it's going to be 16 million. Nottingham Forest spent 16 million on players so far. And like, as well, people, like I said, when we get tomorrow, and people in the comments as well, who do you think is the best signing we've done so far? I'm going to ask Glenn and Joe. We've got another 9 minutes. Got a little spare time. People in the comments, who's the best player that Cooper has signed so far? So let me ask you, Joe. What player are you happy Cooper's brought in?
I'd say probably my favourite signing that we've made so far is Niakate. I think all the signings seem to have something similar to them, and they all seem to be of the same age range and a younger bracket where they've got a lot of talent, but they're still pretty rough at the moment. They've got a lot that they can learn, and I think being under Steve Cooper is probably the best managers to be in at the moment so that they can develop. But I think Niakate, especially just because of the fact that he was captain for Mines, so we know that we've got someone at the back there who's a leader. He's going to be able to hold his own. He's going to be able to work with everyone in that back line and keep us pretty much sturdy. I think that is one of the key signings that we had to make.
Before I get to Glenn, I said new signings. I mentioned Clay brought in, and there's quite a lot of people. I've gone a bit different on this one. People say Brennan Johnson, and you can't forget about John. Like I said, that's a major signing. A really impressive signing like John. As like I said, massive talent. I think he's ready for the Premier League. He's not ready for Championship. He's not ready for Championship ball. He's ready for the Premier League. As well, the local shop is John over the contract as well. Luke says Dean Henderson. Like I said, Dean Henderson's a good low signing. If I'm honest, better than Samba in my eyes. Kev says Big T, Mr. T. If no one knows who he is, it's Talwani. I say Big T. That's his name for me. Darth said Brennan. I think there's quite a lot of Brennan people who like it as well. Right, last but not least, I'm going to say it right. I said, how many days are we now left to get Newcastle away? How many? Is it 4 weeks? Is it 4?
Yeah.
4 weeks?
Yeah.
4 weeks now, people? Right, I don't think I've asked Glenn this yet, so because like Glenn's not been on for a while. People in the comments, like I said, with all this, like I know, forget all the friendlies, like friendlies, I'm really lost country, so it's only friendly. But people in the comments, where do you think Forest will finish now? With the signings that we brought, I'm going to change mine. Because I did say 14th, but I'm going to change it. I'm allowed to. It's my show, so I'm allowed to. So, people, where do you think Forest will finish? Before I get Glenn and Joe's as well, people, let's have on 88 likes. Get me to 100 because there's 181 people in. If you can, people, please do hit the like button as well. Get me to 100 likes as well, and as well, get me to subscribe as well if you can. If you get me to, if you can, if you haven't subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. Right, before I do, like I said, Glenn, Joe, you got your answers ready?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So before we do, I'm going to look through the comments as well. So Nick Kane says 15th. Nick says 16th. Gamer says 14th. Stretch says 12th. Lucas says 14th. P.O. Hammond says 10th. Robert Robinson says 6. Robert, if that happens, I'll dye my hair ginger. If that happens, clip this, people. Clip this. The True Red says 30th. Sean says 20th. I don't think you're a Forest fan. Are you a Forest fan, Sean? I don't think you are. You've been on there before in the comments. Paul says top 10. Okay, that's I'd be happy with that. But I'm gonna say mine last. Let me see. We'll get with you, Joe. Have I asked you already, Joe?
Don't think so.
Right. Okay. Right, Joe. Right now, where do you think Forest will finish?
15th. I think.
Okay.
As we are at the moment, if we don't make any other signings apart from Nico, I think if that's the last signing that we were going to make, I'd say 15th.
Okay. So Joe says 15th. I know Kev says 15th as well. And Paul says 12th to 16th as well. Okay, so Joe says 15th. Glenn, where do you think Forest finish right now?
14.
14th.
It's before you said 14th. I hadn't really considered it, and I said to myself 14. Why? What have you changed from 14? What's changed your mind?
Because I'm like I was on a show with Kevin Campbell, and I think when was talking about Dean Henderson and blah blah blah, we're working from the back. I know we brought in Taiwani from New Berlin, but we're starting all our new signs from defence. So if we bedded them in quick, like we already spread lays and blah blah, like I know Nicky Williams, Richards will be playing against Burton as well. I think if bending these players quick, I think we'll get further than 14th. So right now, I say 12th.
Okay.
And that's what I'm thinking. Because I know it's going to be a tough list. I know Forest fans are all positive. All the signings that we made, like I said, we nearly spent nearly 60 million. That's plus with Williams. But I think we can do well. I think there's some clubs who are poor, like I mentioned, Bournemouth. I know Fulham have brought in a few good players as well. Leeds, I think they'll struggle. As well. There's a few teams as well. But before the season starts, I am going to do a vlog of where all the top teams will finish. So people watch out for that as well. So yeah, I personally think we'll finish 12th. But I'll be happy. I'll be happy with 14th. But I think we'll finish 12th. But people, do you disagree with me? If you do, comment below in the comment section as well. We'll ask one more question before we do go, and this is from another from Forest Dan. Curious to panel, where considering where you finish, can you name a team who will finish above? Okay, Glenn. People in the comments as well.
Leeds, Everton, Fulham, Bournemouth. Palace did you a bad season.
Oh, I like Palace.
Me too. They're the nearest club. They're about 3 miles from me. I can't wait to see Forest play there. But yeah. Although I've got a couple of boys in the under 21s at Palace, so I hope they get a bit.
Okay, I like Palace away. I think I went there when we beat was it 3-0 with Billy Davis. Yeah, that's a good day out. That is a really good day out. Last but not least, Joe. You mentioned what two? What two?
Southampton, Leicester.
Do you think we'll finish above Leicester?
I do.
Well, not a bad shot, to be fair. I think we'll do well. I think it was funny, right? Because I don't know if no one's seen this. I saw an interview. I don't know if you saw the Mamanakis interview after at Wembley. It was really good, and you could tell he was really emotional, like all Forest fans was. But people as well, go and watch that Mamanakis as well. He's my Nottingham Forest, and his interviews there as well. I definitely think we'll finish with Fulham, Bournemouth, Leeds, Brentford, Leicester. Yeah, I think we'll finish with Leicester. I think we'll do. We'll finish with Leicester, and I'll be happy with that. So yeah, that's me done. Right. it's been a pleasure. As you know, Forest have signed Omar from Bayern Munich. People, if you rewatching this, put in the comments how are you feeling. If there's any Bayern Munich fans as well who's gutted that is gone, please leave in the comment section as well. Before we go, like I said, Glenn, Joe, thank you very much for taking the time for coming to the channel, and as well, before we go, Glenn helped me a lot. Let me praise Glenn because he helped me a lot. I hate going to London by myself. I had to phone Glenn and Glenn, help me out. So people in the comments. So Glenn, tell everyone, what did you do? Don't tell me where I went. What did you do when I got to London?
You WhatsApp videoed me, and I directed you onto a tube. You went down there. Well, before you, I've worked in London for 23 years, and I forgot that the Wi-Fi wouldn't work very well in the tube station. And on the escalator down, it went to a grinding halt. And you had to come
I was panicking. I was panicking
to the top of this to get some Wi-Fi. Then westbound Piccadilly line, get off 13 stations.
This is right, people. I told you right. I got down to.
It's so nervous when you're first time in London. I remember my first day, I was carrying all my worldly belongings to go off to do a teaching practice for the first time in '98. And I needed a load of help from someone. Actually, someone was a trainee doctor going to Guy's Hospital around the corner from where, and they literally took me to where I was staying. And from then on, I had to learn my way. For you to get around London and back again early this week, and I hear later on this week too, props to you, mate. It's an amazing place to live. But it does take a little bit of getting used to, and I'm glad you didn't look too much like a tourist as well.
Dude, it was mad. But like people, I'm not gonna say what I was in London for. I have done a vlog for it, so you people watch out for the vlog as well because there's something special and something that I've always said. Like I said, I know I'm not gonna budget this. Now, Forest are in the Premier League. I see there's so many Forest YouTubers out there now. It's good, but yeah, watch out for his vlog. This is a big, massive achievement for me. I started 5 years ago. I think it was 5 years ago I started YouTubing, but this is a massive tick, big tick. And Glenn will know. Glenn knows the reason why I was there. Joe knows why I was there. I told him before as well. But people, watch out for the vlog. That be out. When will that be out? What day is it today? Keep them Monday. That be out next Sunday. Next Sunday, that vlog will be out. So I'm not going to. I'll give you a hint on. There'll be two vlogs next Sunday. There'll be the Barnsley one and the one on that. Yeah, done. Right, people, thank you very much for taking the time as well to 165 people. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get, like I said, trying to get to 10k for the season before the end of the year, but I'm trying to get to 9k before the season starts. Hit the like button as well, people. If you can get to, like I said, if you get to 250 likes, you can. And a comment below if there's any Bayern Munich fans as well. What player? How do you think he'll reach him approvers? In the comment section, please do. Right, Glenn, Joe, thank you for taking your time and been another fantastic time. I'm back again, hopefully around 9 o'clock tomorrow to get the more interest about Nicky Williams. I've got a Liverpool fan, I've got a Fulham fan as well. Like I said, when I said a Liverpool fan, give him too much hate because I hate Liverpool. I can't stand them. So people, please come on to the show. It's gonna be a great show. And yeah, thank you very much, everyone. See you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Peace and love, up the Forest.